Yes, Blade fam, what is good? So I thought I would basically put a video together talking about my Plastic Pushers 4 section. I thought it'd be really interesting to give you guys an insight into the whole process of filming, where it was filmed, what I enjoyed about it, what I didn't enjoy, my experience of filming with Cavin, what spots I loved, and basically just give you guys like a deep insight into the whole process of it, and yeah, just talk about it really. Obviously a whole load of work goes into making a section and a full-length video like this. When you watch a section or a skate video, you just see the clips quickly cut, edited together over some music. You don't see like the battles and the hard work and the persistence and the travel and the time and the money and like all the blood, sweat and tears that go into making these sort of things to what they are. So yeah, I thought it'd be really interesting to sort of like do a talk through as we play the video and talk about the individual spots and talk about like the battles, which tricks were really difficult, which came quickly, and yeah, just give you guys like some more info into the whole experience. So I believe we filmed my section over the course of 2 quite long trips. The first trip was a week in Barcelona and a week in Amsterdam. And then the second trip was a week in Copenhagen, a week in and around Amsterdam. We went to a few other places, and then I went on to Barcelona for a week, but we didn't film anything there because I didn't go with Cavin. The first time filming, I just moved to my blank skates. I've been on Aeons for like 5 years, and literally I think I got my blanks like a week before going to film with Cavin. So I was really struggling. Like, I don't get on with new skates anyway, let alone like completely different skates. So I was like, whilst I was getting used to my skates, I was also trying to pull tricks out the bag that were high enough quality to be a part of my section. So for me, the first filming trip wasn't that productive. I think you'll find there's maybe 2 clips in my whole section that were from that first trip. There may be like a couple more, but none that really stick out. So yeah, I definitely struggled on that first trip. I was still getting used to my skates. I was trying to sort of get a feel for them and get a groove and just sort of work out how I need to change to adapt to skating the new skate. But nonetheless, we still got some good stuff done. And then the second trip was definitely the one for me. Going to a completely new country and a new city, like going to Copenhagen, was just amazing. Like the way that that city is set up to skate and the type of spots there just clicked for me. Like it's full of like really cool creative spots where there's like 100 different options. There's obviously like a few big things in that as well, but the majority just seem to be like really cool technical spots, which is definitely what I look for in skating. So Copenhagen was where I got my favourite tricks and probably where I was most productive. Also really cool to sort of go to 8 set and see Quinny and Sizemore. Those guys were super welcoming, like really helpful, were showing us around to spots. And yeah, just really cool to hang out with those guys and catch up and stuff like that. Barca is just Barca. I don't really need to say a lot about that. It's just a mental place with endless possibilities. Like really big crews near enough every day. The weather's basically always incredible. So that was cool. And kind of the same for Amsterdam. Like, because Cavin is born and bred, he knows like every last little nook and cranny of that city. So if you need a spot for a certain trick, he's got you. He'll be like, dude, we'll go here today. You can film that trick there. That'll work out. It's on your side. So yeah, that just works out really well. I also need to thank Cavin, not that I haven't already thanked him like a million times over, but for giving me the opportunity to be part of such an incredible movement. What Cavin does is very selfless. He doesn't make any money from this. I know that he makes some merchandise and stuff, but that maybe just about cuts even for him. He does this purely for the love of the sport and because he enjoys doing it and because he wants to give people like me an opportunity to sort of get out there a little bit more. So yeah, once again, dude, you are just an incredible person, mate. You did so much for me for this trip. Not just filming clips and stuff, like you took care of me, you helped me out where I needed it. Like, you took me into your house, you welcomed me. Like, yeah, you're an incredible, humble guy. Like, just keep doing what you're doing, man. People really, really appreciate it, and I most definitely do as well. So yeah, stoked to be a part of it. And what we came up with, I couldn't be happier. Like, this is by far my best level of skating in a section, and like, one thing I'm really, really happy with is the variation of clips and the trick types. Like, it's not just like a load of grinds. There's gaps, there's manuals, there's weird sort of techie stuff. There's a few bigger tricks. There's a couple handrails. There's a wall ride. Like, I think I near enough covered everything. There's even a set slide in there, and I do not do set slides. So for me, like, the variation of the tricks, I nailed. And I think another reason of why I like it so much is just Cavin's way of filming and editing. Like, he's had that camera set up for a while. He's got it down to a T. Music choices on point. I mean, the whole video, start to end, is just full of bangers. Like, it's such an easy watch. It's long, but it doesn't feel long. You just sort of glide through it. There's so much variation of like different types of people, different types of skating. You've got the girl section, there's different abilities. Like, it's literally got it all. And every year they just seem to get better and better. So yeah, it's incredible to see it grow, and again, incredible to be a part of it. I've sort of didn't have a plan on how I was going to make this video or what I was going to talk about, so I'm literally just sort of winging it and making it up as I go. I just want to make sure that I sort of cover everything and mention everything that I want to. But yeah, the whole experience of filming for it was just amazing. Like, whether it was just me and Cavin out one day, or whether it was me, Cavin, and 30 other people. Like, some days the crew was just insanely big, and we'd stacked like 40 clips as a group. And then some days it would just be me and Cavin going out for a couple hours and getting one clip that we were aiming for. But either way, like, the whole way through, it was just fun. It never felt like stressful or like a chore or like I had to be out doing this. Like, it was just fun and enjoyable, full of jokes. And this might sound cliche, but genuinely some of the best memories I've ever made in my life were whilst filming for this. Met so many incredible people along the way. Caught up with like old friends, and it's just amazing how far and wide it draws people in from to just be part of this one single movement that is plastic pushers. That's one of the most, or probably the most amazing thing about it. Cavin doesn't care who you are, where you're from, what you do, what your background is, what you're about. As long as you put skates on your feet, he's happy. I mean, he'd prefer it if you're vegan, but he's happy either way. And I know you watch this, dude, because you're one of my Patreon members. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm guessing all of you guys have already seen Plastic Pushers 4. If you haven't, pull your finger out and get onto YouTube right now and watch it. Like, even just pause this video right now and go and watch it. Go and watch all of them. Like, go and subscribe to it. Just give Cavin that little bit of support as well, but I'm almost certain that all of you guys would already know about it and be a part of it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything covered. It was filmed in Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Belgium, and Barcelona. I think that was it. Yeah, I also need to touch on the second trip. So first trip, I was getting used to my skates. We did a week in Amsterdam and a week in Barcelona. Second trip was a few months later. Completely used to my skates at that point. I went straight from the Capital Rollers Jam. I flew to Copenhagen. I met Cavin and a few guys out there. Then we did a week there. Then we got the train to Amsterdam. We did a week there, and we did some like out of town spots and that in Amsterdam. And we went to Belgium for a day and a few bits like that. Or we did Rotterdam as well, which was really cool because I'd never been there. Then after that, I flew to Barcelona, but to skate with some other people, so that wasn't part of the trip. But yeah, I think that sort of covers everything that I want to say about the experience. But yeah, as a whole, like, I had an absolute blast, and I am absolutely honoured to have a full section in such a well-known and renowned thing that is plastic pushers. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to like go through each clip. Some of them I've got quite a lot to say about, and some of them not so much. So I'll just pause the video in between, and just sort of say what I want to say about them, give you guys a little insight into them, let you know what sort of took a while to film, what didn't take a while. And one last thing that I want to say is we actually ended up with 70 or 80 clips, I think. We had so many leftovers that I put out a leftover section, which you guys would obviously see. I'll put it on the Patreon. This will also go onto YouTube at some point. So my Plastic Pushers 4 leftover section will also be on YouTube by the time this is on YouTube. I'm just sort of making sure I cover all areas there. But yeah, we ended up with so many clips. Also, like the way that Cavin works, he doesn't show you the section before it comes out. You don't get to see the clips. You get to watch it when you film it, but once that's done, they're tucked away in his vault, and that's it. Until the section is done, you don't get to see it. That's just how it works. Totally respect that. I know if you keep watching your clips over and over, you can sort of overthink things and overanalyze things, and yeah, I think the way that he does it works just fine. One thing that we did do, we had a few discussions when he was editing. I sent him a list of the tricks that I really didn't want in there. There were a few things that we filmed where I just really wasn't happy with. Cavin likes to basically film anything, just in case like you're missing something and need a little something to fill it in. And I think it is a good strategy. Like if you just film everything, then you can't lose anything. You know, like you've always got something there for backup, or you've always got it as an option, you know? So yeah, I sent him a list of all the things that I definitely didn't want in there, and then a list of all the things that I really did want in there. And then there was this middle ground of like, well, if you like it, put that in. If you don't, leave it out. There were a couple tricks that we didn't agree on, but I think 95% of them we were feeling the same about and did agree on. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't change a single thing. Editing, music, trick choice, every single thing is on point. Yeah, I wouldn't change a single thing. I keep on thinking of little things that I want to say at the start, but anything that I've kind of forgotten, I'll add on to the end. Apologies if things are in a bit of a weird order. Like I said, I haven't really planned about how I was going to talk about this. I'm just sort of winging it and going with whatever comes into my head. But yeah, I think now that is everything sort of covered that I wanted to mention at the start. Oh no, there's one more thing. Going to the premiere was also like an incredible experience. He hires out a little cinema in the heart of Amsterdam. I think he does it in the same little cinema every year. It's like an old school looking, cozy, retro sort of movie theatre. There's a little bar in there, very little, but a little bar in there. And people came from all over the world to watch this film and to see the premiere. I'm not going to lie, I was so nervous before the premiere. I don't even know what I was nervous about, but Patrick Smith was chatting to him and he said exactly the same thing. He was like, dude, are you nervous? I was like, yeah, mate, like I'm really nervous and I don't even know why. Like, I knew I was going to be happy with my section. I was super excited to see everyone else's parts and the montages and stuff like that. But I had this weird feeling of nerves over me and I'm still not sure why. But it was strange. It was really bizarre. I've never had anything like that before. I even said to Cavin at the start, I was like, dude, I'm nervous. Like, I don't know why. And he was like, yeah, people say that. But yeah, that was like, you know, it's all this build up. You've been filming for a year. You've been traveling. You've been talking to Cavin about what you're planning. You've sat at home on the internet doing spot research and writing your tricks down and putting a list together. And then all of a sudden, like, you're having a beer on the street of Amsterdam outside this cool little theatre, surrounded by the world's best rollerbladers, and you're about to watch all your hard work pay off, surrounded by the people that you love and all the people that you've skated with and that you've bounced energy off and that. And it all just comes together in like this beautiful, like harmonic way. And yeah, it's just crazy. Like, it still baffles me today that we came up with this and that it's there to watch forever, you know? I've got the memories from the trips, I've got the phone clips, I've got some photos, I've got this, but like, it's the whole experience that I've gained from it and the friends that I've made and just the journey of it in general, I think, which is the most incredible thing that I can take away from this. And just meeting Cavin as well. Like, before we filmed this, I'd only met him like 2 times maybe. I I was out in Amsterdam on a separate trip. I stayed for a few extra days because I wanted to do a few non-skating things. And Cavin was actually there filming with Chris Farmer at the time. So I just sent Cavin a quick message. I was like, yo, dude, I'm here on my own. Can I come hang? Like, can I just come and skate? He was like, yeah, man, like, come out. Like, he'd never met me, but he was like, yeah, just come out, dude. I'm filming with Chris here today. And yeah, that's just how it came together. Patrick Smith was out. First time I'd met him. Me, Chris Farmer, Patrick Smith. I think Moses came out for one day. And we just hit it off. We just clicked. Yeah, it just worked so well. And I got a few tricks in Plastic Pushers free. And I think maybe even on that trip, like the second or third time I met him, he was like, dude, do you want to film a full part with Plastic Pushers 4? And Connor was just blown away by it, man. He's just met me. He doesn't really know what I'm about or like how I'm going to be to film with. And but yeah, he gave me that opportunity after meeting me that quickly, and I will be forever grateful for that. So big up yourself, man. I think a lot of you, dude. So I think I've covered everything. I keep saying this. I could probably talk about it for hours, like I really, really could. But anyway, let's go through the clips. I'm sure as I go through, I'll think of other stuff to say at the end. But yeah, gonna get into it now. All right, so opening clip. Cavin was actually filming a line with Moses here. I was just messing about. I like span around this, being sat on it, and I was like, oh, if I spin this like coming towards me and land a mackie on it, I'll kind of do a grind but not be moving. So I like slowly span it up. Bear in mind I'm in shorts as well, and if I miss, I'm gonna get like repetitive shin injury from like these sidebars, just ding 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 ding. So like I kept like speeding it up a little bit and then staying on it for a bit longer. And I just had my phone on the floor and did like a cool little slow-mo thing. Cavin looks over, he's like, dude, we are filming that. Like, we need to film that. Put your phone away. Like, nah, that's a clip. And he was like, even if it's a throwaway, it's cool. Like, we should do that. And then I used the pull-up bars to jump up. And then I'm at the premiere, and lo and behold, it's the opening clip of my section. And I'll be honest, I think it works really well. It's something a bit different. There's no music over it. You just sort of see it come together, and that actually got a really funny sort of crowd reaction at the premiere. People were like, whoa, kind of not ready for it. So I think it totally works as an opening clip, and I'm glad we filmed it and used it. Obviously, we got all the dog shots because Cavin is Mr. Dog. Milo, the boy, is Cavin's dog. Little intro part, and then we're straight into it. So yeah, first clip, got an alley-oop toe manual. Not the sort of thing that you normally see me do. Perfect little platform set up to do this trick. And this was actually the last trick we filmed of the whole section. I think I was going home like the day after this, or going to Barcelona, sorry, to carry on skating, but without Cavin. And we were having quite a chill day. We found that spot. I was like, dude, I might be able to toe manual that. And I know Cavin was very stoked for me to get that because he knows that's not in my vocab really. So good little opening trick, I think, or second opening trick, but it's the first one of the proper section. So yeah, really happy to get that one. All right, so that trick, I had to go back for redemption. We tried to film this on the first trip, my first trip to Amsterdam, and I was trying to do a true pawn on the first bench and then top pawn around here. You can see it's got this weird little like train track gap with gaps going this way. So it was the end of the first trip. I was super tired. I kept getting the first trick fine, and then like the top pawn, my back foot, I'd get to here and like catch and fall off, and I spent about half an hour trying it, and I was starting to get really quite annoyed. Cavin could tell that I wasn't in the right mood for it, the right frame of mind. Cavin was tired as well. We weren't really feeling the day. He just put his hand on my shoulder and was like, dude, let's just leave it. And I'm really glad he said that. I think a few more goes and I would have like really lost my shit. So we went back on the second trip, back for redemption. I tried a top pawn like 2 times and I was like, do you know what? Stuff this, like it's not gonna work. Tried the fish brain, and I think within like 2 goes, I was like, there you go. Like this is just working. And really, really cool clip. Love the way that like your foot just flies through it. There's a guy there like feeding pigeons with like 8 pigeons on each arm, and we like held some pigeons and had a chat with him, and cool little spot in Amsterdam. But yeah, fun little line. Glad that I got that one redeemed. And after I landed it, I did it for the phone clip and did it like 3 times in a row. So obviously got it quite quick after that. All right, that one took a little while to get. The chrome fat rail on top of the wall was not sliding very well. We all know what chrome is like. And this was on the second trip. This is in Amsterdam. It was insanely hot for that whole week. So every time I've ever been to Amsterdam, it's been like mediocre UK sort of style weather, like out overcast, 10 degrees, or raining, like just standard sort of weather. The week that we went, it was insanely hot, like literally 30 plus degrees every day, 35 degrees. We'd been in all day. We went swimming in the morning. We like had some ice creams, then we just like chilled at the house because it was so hot. I think we skated all day prior to this and the day before that, so it was like 2 days out in the sun, and we were just roasted. So this is kind of like 7 o'clock at night. Haven't skated all day, just went out to get something, and this one took a little bit of time to get. It's kind of difficult to like duck under the barrier and then suddenly shoot up onto that wall. And like I said, I struggled to get the rail sliding a bit. Also, this floor was like really grainy, so I kept landing and like tripping back and cutting my hands open and stuff, but we managed to get that one. Obviously, Cavin gave me a little tow back up the hill. All right, another bill spot. This one didn't take too long to get, but what I did struggle with is being really low to get under the rail and like sat down with my foot out, to then popping up to get on the top acid onto the bike rack, or whatever you want to call it, the bike ramp. But yeah, pretty stoked to get this one. Had quite difficult run up to navigate. But yeah, I think this caught a few people off surprise going under the rail as well. All right, not an awful lot to say about this one. This is at Forum in Barcelona. Beautiful palm trees, amazing weather, obviously. And I'm not great at wall rides. I'm fairly new to them in the grand scheme of things. So I was really happy to get a wall ride. And I think I landed both of these first go. We've got like one angle, then the second angle, obviously. It's not massive, but it's like maybe like a 12 set. Obviously up the ramp, direction change and back down. Really happy with that one, and quite like that my t-shirt matches the spot. All right, another one that I'm pretty damn stoked with, quite a technical one. So I actually skated this spot like nearly 20 years ago. So my first ever trip to Amsterdam and to Winter Clash, we skated this middle of February. So yeah, the spot's been there a long time, and I've known about it forever because I skated it all that time ago. I knew that I wanted to get something here, so me and Cavin went here. I think it was just us two on this day. I did an alley-oop sole to sole, which you'll see in the leftovers edit, and then I was kind of like, I think I can spice this up a little bit, so I tried the alley-oop acid to acid, and yeah, managed to get it. I've actually got another trick that I would now like to do there. I want to step it up again. Something that I might try and get for Plastic Pushers 5. I'm going to go out and see Cavin and try and get a few little clips for that at some point. So that's definitely on the list for a future trick and spot. All right, so this is Copenhagen, and this is the first spot that we went to on the trip to Copenhagen. It's in like a little basketball court. There's like a flat bank here with like a little ledge, and then you've got like all sorts of cool little weird things. So we got here, I did just this trick and didn't quite land it properly, then it tipped it down. Like it rained really hard, and Cavin was like, dude, just film it, we'll just put like a rain clip in. The clip actually looked really cool. I sort of landed and have a little skirt on my feet because it was really slippery, but the clip did look cool. You could see like the rain coming down. But I think the day after we came past this spot again, and I was like, dude, I'd quite like to film it again, but add something to the start. And like the 270 sab, I never do this trick. So I was quite stoked to get that in the line. And then yeah, the alley sole over. I think that's a really nice line. Yeah, I was really stoked with that one. All right, so this is a school in Copenhagen. We had to go back to this one twice as well. So I was stood up on this roof whilst the school was open, and like, I guess it was lunchtime, all the kids were in the playground, and they were just like, whoa, like what's this guy doing on the roof in rollerblades? They were like overly excited. They were all screaming and shouting and like kicking footballs over my head into the street. They're only like primary school kids. But it was all a bit hectic, little bit off-putting for me, but not too bad. I was still kind of happy to do it, but I wanted to test the roof out. It's kind of like felt, so your wheels can stick sometimes. So I didn't really want any distractions. But the teachers came over and they were like, look, we're sorry to bother you, but the kids are so like distracted and excited. Do you mind coming back to film it when the school's shut? So obviously we were respectful. We're like, yeah, cool. It's probably better for us anyway. So we actually like went and hit some other spots up and then came back to get this bit later in the day. The teachers were super cool about it, by the way. They're very accepting of rollerblading in Copenhagen. A lot of the schools have got like grind boxes and P-rails and that set up in them. And I don't mean like as like a street spot, like actually little skate park obstacles. A lot of the schools seem to have that just for the kids to use. So really cool thing that I learned about the city. They're just incredibly supportive about skating and rollerblading, and that's really nice to see. But yeah, another cool little gap. All right, pretty unique spot there. These are caps essentially. Never used to be like this. I think in Plastic Pushers 2, Visa comes up and does a 540 off this. But I knew I wanted to do a trick using this part of the rail, but I wasn't too sure how to navigate over the caps, should we call them. So it took a little while to sort of work out how to do it and how to get up here to then get onto the rail without making it look too steppy or too slow. Also quite hard with the run up. There was a big puddle exactly where I needed to push. And this is like a bike lane, so it took a little while to sort of get everything to line up, but pretty happy with that one. And then there's like no landing. You have this horrible metal pole as well, which I was really scared about tripping into, but luckily just managed to clear through it. All right, so that switch up I'd literally done for the first time like 2 weeks before in London on like a really small obstacle. And then I knew that I really wanted to film it properly for this section. So it's alley-oop Mistrail 360 alley-oop top acid, free out. Pretty technical, pretty difficult, but I managed to get that one fairly quickly. This is like a metal side with a wooden top. So it's like a weird one to look onto, but yeah, really happy to get this one in the section. All right, another cool one. Nice to get like a manual and a grind to roof drop in one line. This was in a little town outside of Amsterdam. I can't exactly remember where we were, but the guys were skating like a bank to ledge. I wasn't really feeling it. So I just went for like a little look around. Ended up climbing onto that bike roof, and Cavin was like, you got something? And yeah, literally I was just like looking up there. I said, I guess I could do this, keep going like all the way around and then drop off. He was like, yeah, cool, let's do it. So that one literally took like a few minutes. Same as this one, this was like a really quick hit. A few people have already done stuff on that spot, but it lines up really well for that sort of line. And it actually was kind of raining at this point. I know it's blue skies, but there's a few drips on the lens and it started raining there, but luckily it held off and we managed to get that still. Alright, so those two clips are Barcelona, fairly new spot in the grand scheme of things for Barca, and these were definitely filmed on the first trip, so I'm getting used to my skates here. I'll be honest, I'm not happy with that first one. I don't like how I do it, but the second one is nice, and what I do like about these is obviously it's switch alley top acid this way and going the other way, natural alley top acid, so kind of cool. yeah, not overly happy with that first trick, but it is what it is. All right. Not only did I do a cess slide, I did a cess slide that I don't think I've anyone seen do before. It's like a switch up in a cess slide. So I go alley-oop porn star, and then I pivot on the backslide foot while still sliding to like a mystery cess slide. Again, we were just like in a random place in Barcelona. We found this massive like football area with this wild, shiny, slippery painted floor. It was so incredibly smooth. Like, it was just mental. So the guys were skating a spot around the corner. I wasn't really feeling it. And because this floor was so slippery, I was like, I could do a cess slide here. Like, that's one of my problems with cess slides, is making something slide. But this place was not a challenge. So I spent like half an hour on my own there, just working out how to like get my feet for something cool and how I could make it into a line. Ended up getting this and really happy with it. And yeah, I love how my feet go on that first part. It's kind of like, you've got to really pay attention to see what I do, but it worked out really well. I'm stoked to go that one in there. I mean, obviously I had to have a Batnugan in it. Cavin made it very clear that I was allowed one Batnugan, so I had to be quite careful with getting the right one. Like, I don't want to do it on something small. I wanted to do it on something that was going to work with a Nugan, something fairly big. I can jump really high on Nugan, so I had to find the right spot and made sure that the one that we filmed was going to be the one that I was happy with. I mean, that spot is just absolutely incredible. Another one, it was actually raining. It nearly got to the point where it was too slippery, and I just managed to get it pretty quick. It didn't feel like it wanted to wax very well, but when I finally jumped to it, it slid perfect. This was tucked away in Copenhagen, and I was really surprised to hear that I don't think anyone skated this before. I showed Sizemore the picture of it, and he literally grabbed my phone and was like, dude, like, what the hell? Like, where is this? Like, those guys had never seen it, so I was quite surprised at that. Obviously, gave them the pin, and no doubt they have gone back and done something insane on it. But that spot was like perfect, like really, really dreamy. Also got a fisheye angle of it, but we just didn't use it, didn't need to. Alright, I think this one was in the little town outside of Amsterdam again. I can't remember exactly where. I know we went to Rotterdam for a day trip, but this definitely wasn't Rotterdam. But yeah, another one I was really happy to get. I don't really do cab freeze, especially as a gap. And I love like this sort of brutal, weird looking architecture. There was loads of options here. I love that there's water involved. You've got like the harsh concrete and the water flowing. And yeah, it just worked out perfectly to get the cab free off. Really, really stoked with that. There was one of them where I didn't quite get enough speed to 180 over. I get to here, I panic. I sort of just about jump, and then I land on the edge, and then I'm like falling back, going into the water, and I just about managed to get back over the other side. So that was quite funny. Alright, this is one of my favourite tricks of the section. I know it's nothing too big or too crazy, but I love the technicality of it. So a little lens kick, up to that top one. So it's a cool little unique spot. And I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do like the backside at the start. So it's like jump onto a proper forward backside, tap up. And I kept saying, I was like, oh man, I think my feet are going to catch. Like, I'm worried about my feet catching the wall. Just kept saying it. Cavin was like, shut up, dude, just do it. And he was right, I just needed to do it. Like, sometimes you just need someone to say, just do it. Like, just find out. And I think it got it really, really quickly. Got two angles of it. And yeah, really, really stoked with that one. I love the noise the wood makes as well. Something about that. Alright, that spot is the heart of downtown Amsterdam. Cavin, I believe, had wanted to film a trick here, like forever. But it's someone's house. Luckily, the house was for sale, so no one was living there. Perfect opportunity to do it. And for some reason, that area of the city was really, really quiet at that point. So we were just cycling past. Cam was like, dude, like, just do something here. I don't really care what you do. Just get from that end to that end and do a trick. Like, do some sort of weird line, do whatever it takes. And we managed to get this down. I mean, it couldn't look any more Amsterdam, that spot, could it? He also got a really nice picture of me just doing the little grab to bonk in. So that was a really fun one. That took about 10 minutes to get. I had to wait for like no cyclists to be there and stuff. But yeah, that was a really fun one. And there was a cafe owner over the road that came out and was like, that's really cool, man. Like, just had a chat with us. Nice friendly guy. And yeah, easy one to get that. All right, that one's like a very well-known spot in Barcelona. Struggling with this one a little bit. You've got the horrible square tiles that Barcelona is also famous for. I kept like rolling here and my feet were getting like train tracked and stuck in the lines, and then it wouldn't allow me to jump over. And it just took a while just for that to happen. Basically, the rest of the trick wasn't too difficult. And obviously it's quite a big step from there to there. So fun one to get and a bit of a different way to skate this spot. All right, this trick, this damn trick, this was easily the trick that took the longest to film out of the whole section. Like, easily. This took a minute. This spot is in Rotterdam. Probably seen quite a lot of people do stuff on it. And I just really wanted to get some sort of underrail trick. And then when I figured out what I could do on this, I was like, I have to land this, man. I have to make this happen. I was having major troubles with like the first underrail sticking, and then I'd wax it and it'd be too fast, and like, I don't know what was going on. I think maybe like the old grass was kind of slowing it down, or like the mud was coming up or something. But this one took a long time, and I think it confused a lot of people. It's really hard to work out like my feet position, so I'll just go through it step by step. So I'm doing a fish brain on the underrail, but with one leg this side and one leg this side. I then switch it to a topsail, again with the rail between my legs, so on either side, and then I come up to a fish brain on the higher part of the second rail. So yeah, under one, switch up onto the top one. I kept locking this bit fine, and then I would just go grass side, or I'd hit the rail, or I wouldn't grab it properly, and I just couldn't quite get it, and then it just worked. I really like to land my tricks fakie, particularly out of like a fish brain. I like to come out backwards. But after watching that back, I was like, dude, that's perfect. I don't care about the fakie. It's not going to add to the trick. It's great as it is, and there's no point in doing like another 50 goes just to land backwards. So yeah, really, really stoked to get that one. All right, sorry guys, had to do a little cut in the video there. I just had a delivery parcel, so just had to quickly stop and go and see to him. But yeah, all good. All right, so that spot was an interesting one. They were kind of like repairing something on the floor. So they'd like lifted the tiles up to get to the plumbing or whatever, and there were like chip-ins and gravel about everywhere. So did like a sole to switch sole, like really easy. Did alley sole to sole quite easy. And then David came over and was like, what are you skating, man? Sort of like spoke about it and said what I wanted to do, the alley ass to top ass. He was like, wow, like, do you think you've got that? So I tried it once and it was really clear that I could make it and my feet were gonna get in that position. And Cavin started filming, and in my head I was like, this could take like a lot of goes. And I think after like 7 or 8 goes, I did it. There's Vito celebrating with the broom right up in the air. But I literally, it happened so quick, I wasn't sure if I'd actually landed it. Like, it felt right, but I just didn't think it would come that quick. So at this point, I'm like, was that it? Like, and everyone's cheering and everyone's like, yeah, that was sick, man. And I'm like, was it though? Like, I don't know. And watched it back and I was like, okay, I can't do it any better than that. I guess I was just fortunate to land it quickly. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. That's a really fun spot in Barcelona. Not really a lot to say about that clip. I think it was just me and Darley skating this. Darley is Victor Dam's girlfriend, in case you guys don't know. But she's amazing, super stylish, really lovely girl. I think she did a Mizzou to sweat stance to jump out on it. But yeah, we were just sort of having a little session together and managed to get that one. And then this one, quite a similar trick, but obviously I'm going to negative pawn instead. I don't know if you class this as alley-oop top or just alley-oop negative. Not really too sure, but either way. Really cool spot. You just got all these rails in a row. The first one's lower and mashed into the ground somehow. This is the only trick that I did this day. I hurt my ankle really, really bad the day before. On a curb of all things. Ridiculous, I know. And it still doesn't feel right. It's never felt right since. And this was like quite a few months ago. I just sat down all day basically. I was desperate to get more clips, but my ankle was just, I was in agony. But I managed to like push through. I probably shouldn't have, but I managed to get this line, which I was happy with. But ankle still didn't feel too good. That ledge was just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Like perfect height, perfect curve, slid incredibly well, perfect run up, perfect landing, like just incredible. It's in Belgium. I actually filmed a phone clip here that I was stoked with, but me and Cavin both agreed that I had too many similar clips like that to film for the section. So went with a fast slide. This took me maybe 10 goes. Fast slide's definitely one of my stronger tricks that I'm pretty good at. I normally get them quite quickly. Some days I have some off days with them, but they don't normally take me too long. I'm fairly consistent, so had to get the fast slide in there. Alright, that one was a bit of a battle, not gonna lie. Me and Cavin, I think, were just heading home after filming for the day. We sort of went past this, he pointed it out, and I was like, actually dude, I think I've got something. I reckon I could bump down to the little box. So it took me a while just to, like, the trolley in that there. It took me a while to just get the courage to just jump for it, basically. And on top of here is like, it's disgustingly dirty. Like, years of dust build up. There's like pissy sleeping bags. Like, it's gross up there. So I didn't want to spend too much time up there. But yeah, it took me a while to work the right speed out. A couple of times I clipped my frames at the start, and a couple of times I went way too far. So it took a while to work that out, and then it took even longer to be able to 180 off the box. I didn't want to land it like forward to forward. I really wanted to come off fakie, but this is only like a few inches longer than a skate, so you don't get a lot of time at all to get enough purchase to pop. So I'm basically dropping off, and what I learned that I had to do is already start to drop my shoulder for the turn whilst I'm up here. So as I'm jumping from here to here, I'm dropping, and then like literally that last second is like the quick 180. That one took a while, but really stoked to get that. Again, it's a non-grind, so... And yeah, that's just... It's the sort of spot that'd be so easy on... Not so easy, but a lot easier on flat setup, but I'm anti. I'm anti till the end, so... just got to deal with it. So yeah, I said at the start about I was really happy with the variation of tricks that I got, and like I suppose this is a fine example of that. I don't know what you call this, but the Sean King. It is the Sean King. If there is actually a name for this, I'd love to know. Is it a grind? Is it a set slide? Like, what is it? I don't know, but I was stoked to get this, and the first one I also think is really cool. So like tornado top pawn in the little train track bit, and then the Sean King. It's kind of funny, like a few of the guys were sort of eyeing it up and seeing it, and they were like, can you do the Sean King? I was like, I don't know, I've never tried it. And I just went up and did it first go, and I was like, okay, like that felt really sketchy, but I managed it. And then I think Cavin came back from getting food. I was like, dude, I did like a little Sean King. He was like, yeah man, let's get that. So yeah, really happy with that one. I'd like to like find some other spots to do it on. Obviously the spot's got to be suitable. You can't just do it on a ledge. It's got to have some sort of like shape to get the wheels in. But yeah, it worked, so pretty happy with that. So that spot is right next to the one that you saw a second ago, the alley-up acid to top acid, where they'd removed the floor tiles, literally next to it. So we got these like back to back. And what I like about this is it's kind of blind shoulder, so I 180 down and I keep spinning the same way. And then it's actually quite a big drop down. It took me a while to like get the balls just to jump from the top acid. What I was worried about is like getting the leverage off the top side foot and that slipping off. But once like I felt the right one that was planted in there, I just went for it, and yeah, really happy with that one. There's the boys celebrating, big love, big love. So yeah, another absolutely obscene and ridiculous spot. It's like a skate park obstacle. It's like a shotgun rail, but it's attached in the middle, so it's like one big piece of metal, and it's just long and down mellow stairs, and like a really well-known spot in Copenhagen. The only bad thing is it's like tourist hotspot. Like, this is quiet. I had to wait such a long time to get a go, and I don't do well under pressure. I don't like random people being about. I don't like photos being taken. Like, it was just so busy. There's kids screaming, and yeah, just a really busy spot. We went there the day before and it was raining and empty. I was like, oh, this is sick. And then we came back and I was like, okay, this is not so sick. This is actually really hard to focus and get in the zone. It's also like a bit of a crack at the top. I needed the board. Somehow Sizemore was just skating it without. But yeah, and I really wanted like at least 2 handrail clips. So to get something on this, I was kind of determined. Took me a while. The landing's clean, but you notice I don't quite go off the end. That's just me being picky. But I'd love to skate this more on like a quiet day. So cool, such a good spot. Alright, really like that one just because of the direction change. You kind of see me flying up the ramp and wonder where I'm going to go. So yeah, like, probably could have stalled that wall actually, looking how high I go. But yeah, just like the direction change, the way I hit it and come back down. The boys were actually around the corner filming a wall ride. So I came and had a little look and found this spot, and the next clip you'll see is literally right next to it. So I went back and got Cavin. I was like, dude, I've got 2 things right here that I felt out. He was really feeling them. So yeah, these were fairly simple and quick to get, and both in the same place, so always nice. And then yeah, you can see the next spot just there. So yeah, another one I was really stoked to get. Not just the gap, it's kind of a bit unique with like the way the lid comes down. We had to actually adjust the length of this strap because the lid was really quite far up. And then I just had to test that I was heavy enough for it to go down and that it was strong enough. And then yeah, managed to get that, which was pretty cool. Took a couple goes to get the landing nicely, just because of the impact, but yeah, perfect. All right, so this clip, this was the hottest day out of both trips, and that's including Barcelona. This is in Amsterdam, and this day was ridiculous. Way hotter than any day in Barcelona. Big up Witsy for getting the second angle, by the way. Thank you very much. And yeah, like, it was like, have 3 goes, try it 3 times, fall on this that's steaming hot because the sun's been on it all day, sit in the shade, have a drink, 3 more goes, sit in the shade, have a drink. Like, it was insanely hot. I'm just covered in sweat. I'm so hot and sweaty there, you can see it. That one was on my list for a while. I knew I wanted to get a trick on that. So grab true fish, pretty happy with that, pretty cool. Yeah, this next spot is just dreamy, like absolutely perfect. So this is like a massive swimming pool in Copenhagen. I mean, a lot of you guys will probably already know this spot. Perfect down rails, 2 in a row, massive slab polished concrete floor. You've got ledges at the top where you can do lines, you can do the gap over the rail like I did, and then the rail. amazing spot. Little bit beaten. You've got like I think when the BMXs come up, it's like a little bit beaten at the bottom, like notch the rail sort of thing, but it works. So yeah, I did a negative saw. We actually filmed it with me 180 and out both ways. I don't know why, but we just agreed that way looked better. Witsy again on the second angle, thank you brother. This one was like a bit weird. We went there the day before and had this like really quite nasty woman come out, like pure Karen, and she was just really unreasonable, really rude, like really unnecessarily just abrupt with us. So we went back again, no messing about, just had to get straight on with it. Didn't even test like rolling. It's quite slippery, there's loads of like plants and that growing out. And this top bit's quite difficult to navigate. You've got like a tiny bit of run up and then like into tiny little girder. Do like an X grind on a girder, it's really hard to see. There's like a little girder in the top. And then yeah, little, well, fairly quick drop in really, but that one was cool. Glad we got that one. And then onto the ender. So I'll be completely honest, not exactly what I wanted for an ender. I still like it, I'm still happy with it, but we were getting to the last couple of days of filming. This was on my list of potential ender spots, but everything else that I had just didn't work out or wasn't suitable. I just wanted something slightly different, and I don't even know what I really wanted, but I'm still happy with this as an ender. But I just would have rather this not quite be the ender and there be something after. It is what it is. This roof was such a cool shape. You could just keep going round. The one thing I don't like is, like this breaks it up. I wish I could just keep rolling and then go into the second gap. Again, it's just how the spot was. I just had to deal with it. And then you've got like quite a big gap off. It's just that moment there where I've got to jump again. But yeah, still stoked I got that. This is actually like a convenience store or like a off license. Someone went in to get a drink and they said that you could hear me on the roof, like really, really loud, like rattling the shelves and stuff. So after a couple goes, like the store owner came out and it was obvious what he was saying, but it was in Spanish. He wanted me to go. So I was kind of like, put more pressure. He put more pressure on. I didn't want to upset him, but I also wanted to get the trick. And then like a few of the local people were on the phone. I don't think they were too happy. So finally landed it. We were just sort of happy to get that and then get out of there. We went down the street so the guys could skate another rail, and we saw the police actually turn up to the shop and go in. So we figured that the shop owner had called the police and that they'd be looking for us. Now, the Spanish police are quite corrupt. They don't speak very good English, and they definitely don't seem to like English people, particularly people that are skating in their country. So it wasn't worth even risking getting into the situation. We hid behind a building for a bit. They drove down the hill very slow. Look, they were looking for someone, probably us, and they went. So we just didn't want to get into that situation. They can fine you. They can just be really rude. I think they can get physical. Like, it's just not worth it. So we managed to avoid that. Yeah, there you go. There's my last clip from the section.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I hope you've enjoyed that. I've definitely enjoyed going through it. Obviously, I've reflected a lot on my experience with filming it. I've got the memories of it. I can watch this, but it's actually really nice to speak out loud and go through the whole section and sort of voice my whole experience of filming with Cavin. So even doing this has made me realise a little bit more, and it's opened my mind a little bit to how good it really was. I don't think I've got a lot else to say, but yeah, I really hope you guys have found that quite interesting and enjoyed the video. I'll definitely make a few more things like this in the future. It's all well and good putting like actual skate content out, but I also think it's quite nice to give you guys an insight into the work and the dedication and the time that goes into doing this stuff. It's not an overnight project, obviously. Cavin spends near enough his whole life doing this. He does do like, he tours with bands and that in between, but the majority of his time is just filming and traveling and like contacting people, and yeah, doing it. So again, mate, you're an incredible person. Thank you again so much for the opportunity and the experience. I'm humbled and blessed to be a part of such a beautiful thing that is plastic pushers. It's an incredible movement. Keep supporting him, guys. Like, it's just so good what he's doing. I truly don't think the sport would quite be the same without him, and everything that he does. He's like the voice and the dad of Dutch rollerblading, Tatty Daddy. He'll probably hate me saying that, but there you go. Going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. That was my insight into my plastic pushers 4 section. I'll see you guys soon.